tomorrow being the class 12 board exam, English core, I just want to discuss the question pattern for various questions in English core and regarding writing, literature, and all other sections. Let us start with the discussions with what kind of questions can be asked in writing section. Well, friends, in class 12 core, writing is of 30 marks. The very first question in writing is a short one, that is of 4 marks. It will be either an invitation, acceptance or refusal, or inability to accept the invitation. It could be invitation, advertisement, or any other like notice. And in second question, it could be a short letter, either a letter of communication, official and unofficial, like drafting a letter for placing order for goods, or it could be a letter to the editor, creating awareness about any social and political concern. It could be reply to one of the letters of communication. It could be information brochure. It could be educational erudition. It could be a request. It could be a recommendation. It could be appreciation and all others. And in question number 3, it will be a 10 marks. Either a speech on social and political issue, or it will be an article or a report that will be divided into 4 paragraphs with a heading. In case of an article, the students must write the heading in block letter, and on the right hand side by the name of the writer it will be given in the question, and they will divide the entire write-up into 4 sections, beginning with introduction, followed by problems and factors, then remedies or solution, and at last they will write in the 4th paragraph their own ideas. So that is about short writing section. For instance, today we are taking one small example of board questions, particularly in literature section. I am going to discuss what questions can be asked in question number 8 and 9 and how should we attempt it. In question number 8, one of the points of the textbooks core will be asked, and that will be an extract will be given of 4 lines, particularly 4 lines or 6 lines, and questions will be based and reference to the context. For instance, I am taking question number 8, one of the asked in board exam. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivor, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing. Now, obviously, these lines are from the lesson Quiet Life. And that is, now they will ask the questions regarding reference to the context. So the very first question is, what do green wars mean? Here, green wars means wars against the environment, wherein nations keep on, those nations which are not concerned about environment keep on developing weapons to wage wars against the environment. But those who are really aware, they stop creating problems which disrupts the environment. Question B, what activities should the war mongers not indulge in? Instead, what should they do? Now, the war mongers should stop indulging in wars and put on clean clothes. Instead, they should come out with their brothers and walk under the trees leisurely, doing nothing for some time. That will give them time for go for introspection and analyze what wrong they are doing with the environment and the people. Question number 3, describe the different kinds of war mentioned in the above line. The different kinds of wars are poisonous gases used in chemical weapons, or emitted in blow of explosives, like firearms. The different kinds of war mentioned in the above lines include chemical wars and wars with weapon. Now, the last question, what kind of victory will it be? It will be a victory with no survivors left to celebrate it. When there will be chemical war, there will be no survivor. It will destroy human being as well as environment. Another question, that is question number 9, there will be 4 answers to be required. Out of six questions, they will have to answer any four. So like the first question is, what was the reason for the tiger's king sudden decision to marry? Yeah, as the number of tigers that he wanted to hunt went on decreasing in his kingdom, a time came when there were no tigers, any more tigers to be shot in his kingdom. So within 10 years of his starting to hunt tigers in his kingdom, the Maharaja had already killed 70 tigers. Now this made the tiger population extinct in his own estate. So he decided to marry a girl from another kingdom so as to get some more tigers to be hunted and to fulfill the requirement as predicted by the other people. The astrologer has already predicted that he will have to kill at least 100 tigers. This was the reason for his sudden decision to marry another girl from another kingdom. Next question, question number 2. That is, what were the fears of the poet as a child? Why do they come up at this time? Now, the poet as a child had been, scared of or feared of losing her mother. On the way to the airport from, her house, ancestral home, when she sees the dull, pale face of her mother, she realizes her mother that she is about to die, and the childhood fear is that perhaps in the next time when she comes, she won't be able to see her mother alive. And that is the reason why the narrator feels scared and little bit unsure that next time she will not be able to see her mother alive. Her mother is old and now aging. Next question. Describe Douglas' condition when he was thrown into the pool. When Douglas was thrown into the pool, actually he got panicked. He just, swallowed water instead of air and got choked. He was suffocating under the water. He tried his best to come out, but his body got paralyzed. He left his head throbbing and felt dizzy. Then he at once fainted. Anyhow, he managed to come out of water. This was really a great fear in his mind for the first time in his life. What was the plight of the peasants and how did the Champaran episode change it? This is from the lesson Indigo. The purpose of the the peasants were very poor and were exploited by the British state owners. After the Champaran episode, the peasants realized that they had their own right. They also said their fear and learned to be encouraged, and they decided that they will not come under the agreement of the demand of the sharecroppers. So they started fighting against the demand of their rights, and they just organized themselves under the leadership of Gandhiji. And last question, that is, briefly describe how Jitika Shah tried to prevent the cutting of her hair. Yeah, when Jubimin informed Jitika Shah that her hair would be cut short, Jitika Shah tried to prevent this cutting of her hair by deciding to struggle first. When no one was noticing her, she crept up the stairs and hid herself in a large room under the bed, farthest from the door. But she was found soon afterwards and dragged away for cutting her hair. That is how she opposed cutting of her hair. In question number 11, there will be a long question that will be of 6 marks. And question number 12 also, a question will be asked that will be a 6 marks. Particularly, this question number 12 will be from the lesson in the text. Like in one of the exams, in question number 12, one question has been asked, what kind of discrimination did Jitika Shah experience depict? What did, Bama experience about the discrimination due to the caste system? Compare their response to their respective situation. This is a long question answer and it requires 120 to 150 words. In question number 12 also, there was, this question may be from the novel or from the suggested novel Invisible Man. And like one of the question asked was, how was Griffin's behavior unusual when he was staying at the Coach and Horses Inn at Yiping. What were the rumors circulating about the village regarding his bandages? Or contrast Silas Mariner's life in Lantern Yard with that in Revlon. This question I will discuss. Contrast Silas Mariner's life in Lantern Yard with in the Revlon. You know, Silas was such a person who really needed some kind of affection. In the Lantern Yard, Silas is a young man who is outwardly happy. The only curious problem with him is the long tresses he falls into during worship services. Actually, there are, elliptic fits. He is totally unaware of what goes on around him when he has a fit. He has a wonderful group of friends. He is preparing to marry a wonderful girl, and his hard-working and cautious nature gives other in the community a good impression of him. However, his friend William Dan is jealous of his popularity and frames him for stealing church money when he is having an epileptic fit. Consequently, he is disgraced and exiled from the community. Then he moves to Ravello. In Ravello, he is a cold and bitter man, focused only on saving and hoarding his money. He does not, socialize his life and enable him to build human relationship with phrase. In some ways, he has found, fomenting and bitterness as well as a deep and more powerful happiness. And that is how we come to the end of the discussions for class 12, board exam questions. I hope and I wish a very good luck to all the examinees, and thanks all of them. I'm sure this discussion will help them revise their lessons very well. Thank you very much.